People ask me, what does a good day at the farm look like? Well, a really good day at the farm is one where the stars line up, things are running really smooth, and you slow down long enough to realize that God has really blessed you. What a blessing it is to be able to work with the land, and more importantly, enjoy the work.
Faith and farming go hand in hand for Chuck and Vesna Allison. They named their business after the ancient Celtic symbol of the Holy Spirit, the wild goose. Free, untamable, and unpredictable, the wild goose is the perfect symbol for farming.
Because, as you well know, in farming, things are always unpredictable, even under the best conditions. And so I feel that you must have some type of faith to be able to be a farmer.
Wild Goose Farms is a 905-acre property near Umatilla, producing blueberries, citrus, cattle, and hay. Chuck grew up on a small farm in Lake City. He had a successful career in agribusiness before converting this old citrus and dairy land into one of the state's most innovative operations. As stewardship is essential to their faith, the Allisons have integrated cutting-edge technology to save fertilizer, fuel, and millions of gallons of water each year.
We are really pushing forward on the integration of technology, specifically into our irrigation management.
The science starts in the field, where multiple devices communicate current conditions via wireless transmitters. This hardware includes soil moisture probes and weather stations located throughout the farm. Tanks and pumps are placed in strategic locations, ready to mix the right recipe of water and nutrition upon demand.
18 and 19 probably needs a little bit more fertilizer, so I'm going to open the valves for it. If you want to start it on your phone, that'd be great.
By simply checking a mobile device app or computer, team members can quickly determine the status of these specific plants and deliver exactly what they need to grow.
One of the benefits of having all the technology that we have is if our plants are low in nitrogen, we're able to spoon feed them and give them exactly what they need and not just dumping it on it based on what we feel.
Using micro-drip irrigation systems, water and nutrients are delivered directly to the plant's root systems, minimizing evaporation and reducing the risk of overflow into the Floridan aquifer.
The best thing I see here is the drip. We save so much. You can save time, you save water, and save some money and save a lot of work.
Bark is also used on plants to help keep roots moist and pH levels stable. The application of this technology has reduced water by 20% while increasing yields by more than 30%.
I'd like to see more growers doing what he's doing, because it's one thing to know how much water a plant needs during the course of a day, but it's a whole nother thing to deliver that water to the plant in a way that the plant can take it up efficiently and not waste it.
This is now one of the largest blueberry production areas in the state. Wild Goose built a packing house on site that now ships 2 million pounds of fruit each year, about 10% of the state's entire harvest. While blueberries are a relatively new crop, citrus has been farmed in this area for more than a century. Wild Goose started from scratch, planting new groves with all of the latest irrigation and fertigation technology. Chuck believes these healthy young trees with automated water and nutrition systems will help him fight Florida's ongoing battle with citrus greening. He also hopes his crop competes with West Coast growers.
The market is moving to fresher varieties, easy peel, something the consumer can easily consume and not make a mess in the car. And the cuties, the halos, we have similar varieties now here in Florida that we can grow and beat the freight costs of coming from California to the East Coast and hopefully capitalize on some of that difference.
The culture of stewardship at Wild Goose extends to the cattle and hay business. Best management practices are implemented to manage nutrients and water. Exotic vegetation, such as Brazilian pepper, is controlled so native plants can flourish. Rotational grazing provides healthy, nutritious grasses for the cattle. Going well beyond the BMP requirements helps protect wildlife habitat on the property and in the Ocala National Forest that borders wild goose. The farm's practices also safeguard the several large lakes as well as the Ocklawaha River watershed.
Pushed a little bit of fertilizer.
That's interesting. So we're going to fertilize starting tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we got an inch of rain.
This year we're in today, we were able to save 40 million gallons of water just because of the rainfall and what we were doing from a management standpoint.
Trended upwards.
But less so the last 2 months.
And if we're not stewards of it, then it's not going to be there for us to enjoy. You know, I personally love diving, and I don't want to dive in muddy, nasty, algae-filled waters. I want to dive in something clear, something pristine.
Successful stewardship not only preserves environmental resources, it also grows the business, providing jobs to more than 200 employees each year.
Chuck and Vesna don't just run a business, they want to give back to the community, they want to give back to their workers, and it makes me very proud to be a part of that.
The Allisons have 3 adult children that grew up on the farm, and they continue to cultivate a strong family culture.
Te lo limpiaron bien, ¿eh?
A native of Chile and registered nurse, Vesna is in the unique position of ministering to the seasonal workers that visit the farm each year.
¿Todo bien entonces? Al final terminaste aquí con nosotros. Hola, soy Vesna. Bien, qué bueno. Well, it's not just, you know, an employee relationship, but I actually get to know them as people and their families. I ask them questions about them and where they come from and, you know, their hardships.
Wild Goose partners with the Redlands Christian Migrant Association to provide child care for the workers and the Freedom Clinic to offer free on-site medical care. In addition, Vesna volunteers at Grace Medical Home.
Coming into this and helping the workers, it just kind of came hand in hand because I love to care for people. This has just really allowed me to grow in my passion for my nursing, but carrying it over into caring for them.
As it was for the ancients, the wild goose of today is still unpredictable. But Wild Goose Farms has faith that careful management and implementation of innovative and sustainable practices can benefit the land, wildlife, and Florida families for generations to come.
Equally important to us is innovation and entrepreneurship and stewardship. We've been blessed with a lot of very good land, and we feel like we need to innovate around stewardship in ways that preserve the environment and utilize resources in their best way.
I think about how grateful I am that God has entrusted us with the land and the people that work for us. What a blessing that we can give back in that respect.